Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shmayo. We are the Metaphysical Empowerment Events, and we have different sorts of events. We have fairs with 25 to 45 readers, healers, and vendors. We also have nights of messages, all kinds of things. We interview our practitioners so you can get a sense of who we are before you attend one of our events, get to know what people's work is like. So I'm here today interviewing Sue Ellen Kolman. So Sue, tell me a bit about your work. What is it that you do? What do you share at the events?
I read tarot cards, and I also volunteer to autograph my book, which I don't know whether you can see in the light or not.
That's
but
great.
The story behind that is interesting, and if we have time, we'll get into that, because that was one of the last things I ever thought that I would do, would be to write a book.
What is your book about? What is it called? What is it about?
It's called Tarot for All Time, which is, basically who I am, and it uses the Rider-Waite deck, which is the classic, that's cool kind of thing, because Waite was the first one to make pictures for all of the 78 tarot cards. Other decks did the major arcana, which are the 21 cards above, but he engaged Pamela Coleman Smith, who was a designer for the theater. And she made a picture of each one of the cards that she told her about incorporating all of his secret knowledge. And so each one looks like a sort of a stage, and that's what's being presented on the stage.
Sweet. And so what are the readings like that you do with people? Do they come with an idea of something they want to approach, or how does that happen?
All right. I believe that whether you like it or not, you are in charge of your own life. And the cards were never designed to tell you what to do. So the only kinds of readings that I do want to call them insight readings, that's fine. You don't tell me what the question is, because I don't play guess the question. I actually do read the cards that are there. And you do in your head a sentence completion of, please give me some insight into, and then whatever you fill in the blank, that's what we get a reading.
Great. And then so you're interpreting what the cards are. Do you have dialogue with your client about what their topic was? Like, how does that work?
After the reading is over. Well, first of all, if it's a full reading, and even if it's a small reading, we evaluate what's there first. If it's a 3-card reading, we see do we have 2 or more of anything, because that indicates where there's an emphasis, where there's guidance to tell us what the reading's about. If it's a full 11-card Celtic cross reading, then it has to be 3 or more to be statistically significant. But that gives us a lot of information before we start, and we can tell whether we're on point or not with the rest of the reading. Because as soon as I do that summary and I say, are we okay so far? And every once in a blue moon, somebody will go, oh no, that has nothing to do with what I asked about. And I'll say, fine, I'll gather the cards up, we'll shuffle them again, we'll do it. But that hasn't happened in years, and I've been doing this for over 40 years.
Great. Great. Yeah, so and then usually so it makes sense to them, and so then you keep going?
Right. Mm-hmm. Even a 1-card draw is significant. It's valid. But obviously, the more cards you put into a reading, the more information you get, more aspects you uncover. Because a tarot reading is sort of like a freeze frame on a camera. All readings are for now, and the camera focuses on what's going on with you right now, and then gives you, hopefully, helpful suggestions so that you can then make better choices and more intelligent decisions.
That's great. And I guess, do people give you a sense of like how long or short they want to go, and that's what influences what type of draw you do, or how's that chosen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I only charge $5 for a 3-card reading, and an 11-card reading is $20. And those are the 2 that I will usually do at the fair, where there's a traffic coming kind of thing.
Great, great. And you mentioned you've been doing this for 40 years. How did you first get interested in this, and how did it become your profession?
Well, I had a friend who was a professional astrologer, and we had a place nearby. I grew up on the East Coast, and we had a place nearby that offered courses at their ashram, at their center. And my first exposure to tarot was her daughter, but her daughter did tarot as fortune telling, and I really wasn't comfortable with that. But in 1986, I met Rusty Carnarius at a seminar back east where they had an entire week where you could go, and she was incredible. I walked into class one day, and I was absolutely shocked by a wall of aroma and brought tears. And she said, "Oh, you smell the roses." And I said, I just nodded. Yeah, I couldn't see. She said, "When those from the other side come to learn tarot, they bring with them the aroma of roses." It was magnificent. She had a story for every card. She was kind. She was gentle. And it was positive. It wasn't any of this doom and gloom. I tease a lot about the deadpan comic Stephen Wright, who says, I played poker last night with tarot cards. I got a full house and 3 people died. You know, and it's not that way. It was not intended that way. And the intent of the reader and of the person receiving the reading to get helpful advice definitely limits, but also strengthens the message that we get. So then what happened after Rusty's class, I started getting these messages that weren't what Rusty had said. And my friend said, "Oh, Sue, you need to write a book." And I went, "Yeah, right. You know, they're just saying it because they like me because I'm their friend." And I went to a psychic fair and sat across the table from Ernestine Shields, who was a teeny lady, maybe 4 foot tall, from Transylvania. And we had never met. And she looked me in the eye and she said, "How many people is it going to take before you write the tarot book?" And I went, "Oh my, I guess it's real." And to make a long story short, here it is.
That's great. That's lovely. It's fun to see how animated you get as you share the story, just how personal, how meaningful, and the big openings that you experienced. Yeah, it's great. So can you just say a little bit more about the book? What's in the book? What is...
All right, the book is Tarot for All Time, and it basically explores my philosophy of reading cards, the kind of sort of underpinnings of that, of the fact that you are in charge of your own life, and that we are part of an evolution constantly. So the cards will also tell you where you are as far as your own growth and development is concerned, and guide you toward the next logical step, the next expansion, the next positive way of whatever it is that you're going to be doing.
It's great. Thank you.
Okay.
And if people want to learn more about you,
Say again?
If people want to learn more about you on the web, where can they go? Buy your book.
They can go to tarotforalltime.com.
That's great. Sweet. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to interview you.
Thank you for having me. I'm really looking forward to participating with you at the More Psychic Fairs.
It's great. I'm looking forward to looking at your book next time we're together also. So for everyone watching, you can learn more about our events at www.MetaphysicalEmpowermentEvents.com. We're currently in Seattle, Portland, Salem, and Eugene. Thanks again.